A very welcome to all of the students. This is Anita Goswami, Assistant Professor of English at Government College GCRChuru. In our today's online lecture, we will be talk about a poem entitled The Seven Ages of Man by William Shakespeare. This poem is prescribed in BA Part 1st English Literature Paper 1st MGSU Bikaner. So students, let's have a brief introduction of this poem and the poet. As you know, the poet William Shakespeare. He was born in Stratford-upon-Avon on April 23, 1564 and died in 1616. He is considered by many to be the greatest dramatist of all time. He wrote a book of 154 sonnets, 2 long narrative poems, and about the 3 dozen plays. Shakespeare used poetic and dramatic means to create unified aesthetic effects through her creative writing, and in verse he perfected the dramatic blank verse. So in most of her poems or sonnets he used the literary device blank verse. And before moving ahead, let's have a brief introduction of the poet and the poem as well. The Seven Ages of Man by William Shakespeare. So this is also known as All the World's Stage. It's a very famous line which has been taken from one of William Shakespeare's very well-known comedy As You Like It. So actually this is in a dialogue form written by English playwright William Shakespeare that has been used by one of his character Jacques. So the dialogue takes place in scene 7 of Act 2, where the dreamy philosopher Jacques is talking to Duke Senior and Orlando in the forest of Arden. So here the whole speech is actually a kind of monologue, a speech given by very famous character Jacques from his play As You Like It. So here all the characters are gathered in the forest of Arden, and it is the place where Jacques actually articulates his philosophical ideas about human life, about different kind of phases which a human being has to undergone during his own life. So here all these characters, they are having dinner when Duke Senior confesses to Jacques that he and his men are alone and unhappy, whereas the whole world is full of joy. So after the discussion, or after the very particular statement given by the Duke Senior, Jacques actually starts to propound his own individual philosophy regarding human life and about the world, how the things are dualistic in nature. And regarding this, when he gives his reply, so the reply given by Jacques has been actually propounded a kind of monologue, which is a speech by single person that all has been described or talked about or discussed about in this particular poem. The Seven Ages of Man is the reply Jacques gives to Duke Senior. The purpose of this reply is partly to console the sad Duke Senior and partly to tell the audience of the play that unhappiness is a part of life and that we all go through certain stages of life, that this is the way of human life, that each and everybody he has to go underway, he has to undergo some kind of adverse or difficult situations, up and downs in each human beings. These are the real phase of human life which we have to face. And so the certain stages of human life which each and everybody has to undergo. So this extract is also regarded as the character's comment on the futility of human life. So actually the whole poem presents a kind of nihilistic or hopeless view of human life. The ages of men actually was already a beaten up topic in Shakespeare's time, so this verse didn't really have the kind of popularity it has today. So Aristotle had also proposed 4 ages of men, and the idea was around for a long time since then. So perhaps Shakespeare also had taken this idea from Aristotle's ideology. What's new in Shakespeare's version of the ages of men is that he divides them in 7 ages, whereas it was common for earlier writers and philosophers to divide life in 3 and 4 ages. So we also see a similar and more familiar system of ages or stages of life in our Indian philosophy as well, particularly that of the Nyaya system called Ashram Dharma, where the life of a man was divided into 4 ages, namely Brahmacharya Ashram, Grihasthashram, Vanprasthashram and Sannyasashram. So this is all about the brief intro of this poem. Now, forgetting the gist or the comprehensive ideas of this poem, we will talk the text in detail in our next lecture. Thank you, students. This is enough for today, and we will meet in our next lecture. Thank you.